Hey, what's up, everybody? Brian here, Revenue Pro Tips. Welcome back to the channel, and today we got a special treat for you. For those guys who are new to the channel, every single week we bring you information, tips, and even online-based opportunities to help you create some income or even create multiple streams of income. All right, and so today, though, what we're going to be showing you is an interview that I recently did with a friend of mine by the name of Jason Johnson. And look, Jason is a veteran trader in terms of trading stocks, currencies, even cryptocurrencies. And so, what I wanted to do was to bring to you all's attention out there who are thinking about maybe getting into the markets and trading stocks, currencies, and things of that nature. I wanted to bring to you guys some information, give you an opportunity to hear it from the words of somebody who's been doing this as a professional for a good amount of years already. Now, I've known Jason for a few years actually now. He lives on the opposite side of the country from me, but we keep in contact, we keep in communication, and he is somebody that I trust when it comes to, knowing what he's talking about. Because you get a lot of people out there who are gurus, who are giving off all this information, and not to take anything away from anyone, but this is a gentleman who I think has a great amount of value to offer to other people. And so with that said, he's going to share a little bit about how he got started, how he got going, and who else out there, maybe you who are looking into this as an opportunity in terms of stocks and currencies and things of that nature. Is this or is this not for you? Well, I think he will be somebody who can answer some of those questions and help you figure that out. So with further ado, we're actually going to take a look at this interview I did with Jason, and I hope that you enjoy and get value from it. Let's go. First off, just jumping on into it, if you want to, share a little bit about yourself, like, where you're from, how you got started, and, your background as far as career, things like that, and we'll transition into how basically that all led to where you're at right now.
Absolutely. All right. So, for the viewers, my name is Jason Johnson. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. And, my background is cybersecurity. And I got into trading just because it was always a level of curiosity, especially when I was in high school. They used to do this thing called job shadowing. So what they would do is they would send you out to, different companies to sit with, one of the workers or the businessmen just to, see what they do throughout the day. And one of the places I went to was T. Rowe Price. And, me being young, then I didn't really understand what the deal was, but, I understood there was a lot of money coming in and out of that place. And, it's always been a level of curiosity to know, like, what is it behind stocks? What is it behind trading that, is I don't know, just a warm feeling for me, just being drawn to it. What is it about it that's just drawing me to it? So that's how I got into it, man. I started out with stocks, learning patterns and looking at the similarities in the market. Then jumping from stocks, I went into Bitcoin. And from Bitcoin, I jumped into the foreign exchange market.
Okay. Nice, nice. So is this, that's interesting that you say, first off, tell everyone where you live and where you went to school at, because when you said, oh, well, in high school they did job shadowing and stuff like that, like where I'm from, and like at least the high school I went to in Southern California, like that did not exist. There was no programs where they really sent you out to, they didn't have no programs in school, and they definitely wasn't sending you outside of school to do anything like that. So I find that really interesting and probably really great for the kids and the students there. So where exactly did you go to school at?
I went to Lansdowne High. They had a business and finance program that I joined into. So if there's anybody in the area, if they're looking to go to some type of high school, I would look into some type of business and finance program.
Excellent, man. That's pretty good. Maybe I had to go to like a private school or something. I might have found something like that where I'm from, but it's a nice area, but they didn't have that. So okay, so high school, you just had the curiosity in terms of like, what are these people doing? How are they doing what they're doing? Now, so what would you say were some of your biggest accomplishments, and how long exactly have you been doing this? Have you been doing this since like shortly after high school? Were you
about man? It took me a while to actually get back into it, or to take the initiative to learn more about it anyway. So I've been in it about 7 years, doing about trading about 7 years now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you say trading, what specifically do you mean by trading? Do you mean like in terms of like the foreign exchange market, which you say you're currently now doing, or is that like kind of like trading stocks? And I mean, for everybody to kind of understand the basic terminology of stocks and investing, the difference between maybe stocks and the foreign exchange, things like that. If you wouldn't mind breaking that down real quick.
Absolutely. So I was doing a little bit of everything, a little bit of stocks, and dealing with stocks. That's dealing with a lot of companies out here. What company is on the NASDAQ? What company can you get involved with that suits you? And what I've learned from trading stocks is um, you should pick something that you're familiar with. And like I tell women, like, where do you shop at? You shop at the TJ Maxx's, you shop at the Marshalls, wherever it is that you like to shop. More than likely, that company is on the market. And you can kind of look at them and follow them, and you'll understand, why the price might be jumping and why it might be going down, because you shop at these places on the regular. You know what I mean? So sometimes it comes off of being able to trade off the instinct in which um, another good direction I like to shoot people in stocks is having the understanding of the environment. Like even now, like with the coronavirus going on, this would be an avenue to just sit down and use your imagination on what's needed at a time like this. Who's being affected at a time like this. People aren't traveling right now like that. So you could look at the airlines and say, man, the airlines about to tump. But eventually this issue will subside, so the market will eventually jump back up. So those companies will be the ideal ones to watch and wait for that jump. Another aspect of trading stocks is the technical analysis of things. The charts have candlesticks on them and they have lines on there. A lot of people don't necessarily know what they mean, but there's a technical analysis and a technique behind understanding the charts, because it gives a language. And, you can get some books to understand how to read the candlesticks, but, overall, you can kind of analyze the market for yourself and start to distinguish with specific shapes and things that you see. But that's stocks. Bitcoin, I got into Bitcoin. It was more so when I started with Bitcoin, there's this new thing out, this new cryptocurrency out, and if you buy into it, the Bitcoin value will go up and so will your money. So at first it was just like an initial investment just to throw it in there just to see what happened. And I forgot about it actually. So I had invested in the Bitcoin and I forgot about it for like a couple of years. When I came back, I was like, oh shit, like, okay, so how do I put this on a platform and trade it? Gotcha. And, it's the same concept. It's technical analysis. If you can understand technical analysis on the charts, you can trade anything. You could trade stocks, futures, you could trade crypto, foreign exchange market, because it's the same principles on all platforms.
Okay. Awesome. So, you kind of, and I was going to get into this a little later on, but since you kind of touched on it in terms of like books, courses, like what would you recommend specifically, for beginners, people who are looking at this as maybe an opportunity for them to get involved, whether that be stocks, Forex, and things like that? What are some maybe books or some courses or just some websites that they can kind of go to, like you said, and you and I have chatted a little bit back and forth in terms of like where's a great learning or starting point. Mm-hmm. What is something that you could recommend people where they could start, whether that be books, courses, anything like that?
I would start with babypips.com. That's a good website. A lot of free information on candlesticks, like I was saying, candlestick language, patterns, and that's more of a technical analysis aspect of things, so you can have an understanding. Another good one is a book by Steve Nyson, book on candlesticks by Steve Nyson. That's a really good book that deals with nothing but candlesticks. It dives into pretty much every pattern that you'll run across, the meaning of the candlesticks. It really engages. So when you're looking at the market, you'll see it in a different view. Another one is the Forex Trader.
And that's a book, the Forex Trader?
The Forex Trader is a book. I'm trying to see who was by. Somebody sent it to me. Alex Nectrin and Walter Peters. It's a really good book. When you get into trading, there are things called indicators, and indicators gives your cycle confirmation that what you anticipate the market doing is actually doing. And a lot of times traders get so consumed with what these indicators can do that they lose track of paying attention to what the chart is actually doing. And Naked Trader gives traders a good idea of how to trade without using indicators. Now, if you can master trading to a point where you know the market is going to do this without using any indicators, and it happens consistently based off of strategy that you have, adding indicators is like added confirmation on what you already know. And you know, that book's a really good starting point for beginners because you learn from the beginning.
Gotcha. Excellent. And I'm gonna put some links to these books and the website that you mentioned in the description below this video when we post this. So,
oh, one more. I got one more for you. A really good program with iMarkets Live. They have a really good educational platform in their back office that dives into everything the same, except for, you know, it's in video format. And I think that grasping the basics off of what they have to offer is a great thing also.
Okay, what was that again? What was the site?
iMarkets Live.
iMarkets Live. Okay. All right, I'll put that in there too. So we're gonna make sure people know have some resources to kind of dig and dive into to kind of educate themselves. Okay. So cool. Thanks for sharing that, man. I'm sure some people will find some value in these books, these resources, pretty much to get started. For those who look forward to it. So share with us some of your accomplishments. Like, what are some of the biggest, and or maybe not maybe the biggest, but most meaningful accomplishments in terms of your trading career?
I say one of the most meaningful things through trading for me was going through those losses, right? Going through those losses and just looking at it as I'm never going to get to the other side of the money, and getting to the point where everything starts to click and you start to see the growth and you start to see the change in not only your life, but the lives of other people that you're sharing the information with, just, having the students, like I told you, I have students, being able to see the value that's being embedded in them and what they're able to deliver from trading, that's probably one of the greatest accomplishments that I've had so far. I don't have enough students that, as I would like to, but eventually I'll get to that point,
Yeah. No, absolutely. And so the impact basically that what you're sharing people on their lives is one of the best things that you've gotten out of it thus far.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I think that's why we click so well, because we want to both help a lot of people in many ways, and however we can help them based on our experiences and expertise. So,
Absolutely.
No, that's incredible. That's probably, in my opinion, and maybe some people out there watching who will see this also would agree that that's probably absolutely one of the most valuable things that you can gain from anything you're doing is positively impacting the lives of other people. So that's awesome. And within that, and within you sharing that, you kind of touched on the next question, which I think a lot of people also find a lot of value in as well, is what are some of the biggest struggles or failures that you have gone through this experience? Because one of the things I'm big on is like mentorship, right? And people being able to learn from other people and their experiences. For example, your students, you're going to educate them and share with them some of these, shortcomings, or maybe, some bad decisions, whatever it is that you can help them totally avoid if possible, to help them, maybe speed up the process in terms of their whether it's just knowledge period, or if it's just, not only knowledge, but actual financial results. What are some of those, maybe struggles or failures that you have gone through?
Some of the struggles that I've gone through, one thing is not being submissive to other traders. Thinking that your strategy and what you've been studying is the ideal way of trading will hinder you from being the trader that you would like to be, because you'll put yourself in a position where, like I was doing, I'd be around other traders and I'd say, oh man, well, I've been trading longer than him. I'm doing better than him. And you got to humble yourself down and kind of listen to the ones that you're engaging with, regardless of what level that they are. One piece of information that they give you may change the dynamics of how you trade. And being able to use everyone in your industry as a sense of mentor, You know, even if you're more far-fetched than them, you should be able to humble yourself down and be the mentee, you know, in an engaging conversation so that you can just grasp little bits of information. Because as a trader, you're going to learn so many different ways of trading, but you have to learn how to create your own strategy off of what you're learning out of, you know, out of everything. You know, I have maybe 4 or 5 different strategies that I trade off of, but those are because of, you know, the different traders that I was engaging with that had different methods and different ways that they traded. And I was like, oh man, well, let me just grab this and use this. You know, that helps. You know what I'm saying? Being able to be a humble trader. Another thing is being able to take your losses with a grain of salt. You have to learn why you lost quick, but you're going to continue to lose. And you have to like really dissect and back test methods that you were using that you thought were good ones. If they, you know, if you lost about 10 to 20 straight off of this one strategy, it might be time to go to another strategy. You know, it might be time to like reassess what worked, what didn't work, what needs to be replaced. You know what I'm saying? Or do I just need a whole new strategy altogether? Being able to come to the realization that your strategy is garbage quick and you look to fix it or piggyback off somebody else's strategy that's working and tweak it as you go along, that'll help a lot of traders get ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like that. And so, would you suggest, like, I would find it hard to believe. Again, I got to learn all this myself, but I would find it hard to believe that there's a one-way method to doing it, and obviously so, because you touched on the different strategies, and obviously there's different trading, and whether it's stocks, forex, you know, Bitcoin and stuff like that. There's all these different things that people can get into. But you have some people, you know, like myself, I'm a believer, but in sticking with something. But I also believe that it depends on what kind of business you're in. You know, like for instance, if you're going to get into e-commerce, right? And you get into e-commerce, you know, and after 2 months you ain't made no money, you know, you're kind of like breaking even, maybe lose a little, and then people say, oh, this doesn't work, you know, like, let me find something else. People, oh, you know, the grass is greener on the other side, or this this new thing come out, the shiny objects. And for people who, and I think most people go through that, no matter what kind of business, no matter what kind of industry they're in.
Absolutely.
How would you suggest, in terms of when it comes to stocks or forex and these things, how do people what is a I don't know, a beneficial approach to analyzing, at what point do they change? Well, you kind of touched on that. You said if you've done about 10, 20 trades and you kind of took an L with you know 10, 20 in a row, it's probably time to
that becomes very discouraging. You know what I'm saying? Like in any business, you know, when you're taking losses and you've been grinding and you've been trying to figure something out and it's just not working in your favor, like you're saying with e-commerce. Like it's, you know, it's been a couple months I don't have any traction. You know what I'm saying? That comes down to the personal development side of things now. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that you have to deal with internally. You know, do I decide what I need to fix about myself so I can figure out how to fix this issue? Or am I just going to be a quitter and go on to something else and do the same thing? You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it has to come down to your why, the passion for what you're doing. Because if you can't do this for free and still be passionate about it, it's probably not for you. You know, I could trade for free. It's been times I've been trading for free. You know, when in my losing phases, you know, I'm losing, but I'm still trading. I'm still getting up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to trade, and I'm still losing, but I'm still getting up and I'm doing it. And I'm figuring out why I'm doing, what am I doing wrong? How am I doing this wrong? You know, I'm trying to figure it out. You got to figure it out, bro. Like whatever industry it is, whatever you're doing, e-commerce, trading, real estate, it doesn't matter. You got to find a way to figure it out.
Absolutely.
And like you said, mentors is key, man. You need the mentor and a coach too. Coaches help, you know, because coaches, you know how it is. You're at the gym and that last rep, you just like, oh man, like, nah, man, come on, get it up. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when you're in business and trading or whatever the case may be, those moments a coach definitely help.
Absolutely agree, man. Them is facts right there, because you can try to do it on your own, but again, when it comes to somebody who can kind of guide you along the way and help you recognize the like you said, what am I doing wrong? Self-assess, analyze. That helps out, and that's huge. And you touched on the next thing I wanted to talk to you about, which is the why, right? Why is it that you do it? What is your why for trading? For doing what you do? Like, is there a bigger purpose? Is it just, is there just something that's continued from that interest, or did you see like, some kind of potential, but then something added on to that that really has
You
kept?
know, sometimes God has to get your attention before He gives you the bigger vision of what you're doing is. And I figured first it was just about trading for me and getting to that next level of money. And once I got into it and that passion started to hit me, God gave me a different vision. So, um, it's about impacting the Black community for me with trading. There's so many kids out here that have no understanding of the different avenues that they can go into to make money. They're a product of their environment. They know what they see. They know what they hear. And if they're not hearing about things like trading or Forex or stocks or e-commerce, how would they know to seek out and get a better understanding of what it is? So, that's my big why. My kids, allowing them to understand you never have to work a day in your life. This is a craft, and if you learn this craft of how to trade, regardless of what it is you want to do in life, you'll always have trading to fall back on. We're looking at possibly a recession hitting us, and
Yeah,
just that skill set alone will keep you out of a recession. Because when there's no jobs to go to, when people aren't buying anything online, money's still going to be made some way, somehow.
yeah.
And if you're able to get into the market and even if the joint just is going down and going down and going down and going down and nothing else is happening but it's just going down, you know how to ride that wave. You know what I'm saying? Like this
Absolutely.
is so much, it becomes so much bigger than me because these are the things that we weren't taught coming up.
Yeah,
And I want to ensure that my kids and my grandkids have a firm understanding of, you were born to be great, and this me giving you a piece of my greatness will allow you to be great.
there you go. There you go. That's right. That's right, man. That's it. I mean, it's probably a lot of why that a lot of people can relate to, but without hearing the story or hearing the experiences like you're sharing here from other people, some people they don't act on it. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want to take care of their family. Everybody want to do better. But again, that product of your environment is huge. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that you pointed that out because in their environment and whatever way they see people saying, well, this is how I take care of mine. This is how you got to take care of families. You do what you got to do. Whole thing. That's what they do. Whether that's something criminal activity, whatever it is, because that's the way they feel they have to go. And again, if they ain't hearing about these opportunities that are available to them, they feel like that's all they see around them. So
Absolutely.
absolutely, man. Huge kudos to you too for teaching them babies, man, and showing them the way, because that's
Absolutely.
and we talked about that before. We both trying to do that for our kids, but also, beyond our household, when you going out into the community and doing that is something that just there's no price tag on that in the way that's going to
Yeah, man.
people. So,
Yeah, man. We'll be doing this summer. We'll be doing a summer camp at one of the community centers that we're associated with, and that's going to be one of the primary focuses is teaching kids from ages 6 up to 19, how to get engaged. And I'm excited about it because a lot of them teenagers coming in there. You talking 17 to 19? They ain't really, what I'm saying, they out there in the streets for real. So what I'm saying, to be able to give them something, to give them a different perspective of what they can do and possibly change their life, that's a game changer.
absolutely, 100%. So, um, I want to just touch on that in a minute. As we finish this up, wrap this up. As far as people contacting you, getting involved in your organization. I know you have some programs, some initiatives, things that you're doing, such as you just mentioned. But the last thing I want to just touch on real quick is who is trading for? You touched on people a lot and people in different demographic or backgrounds that you're working with and sharing this with them. Is trading? You think trading is something that's limited to like a specific group of people, maybe within a certain financial position or a certain background in terms of career, or who do you think is for? Is it for anybody? Could anybody do this? That way we can make people, you know, assure people, is this an opportunity for me, or do I not fit in do I not possess maybe internally, you know, am I ready for this emotionally, whatever those things are, physically, do I need a certain amount of capital, things like that.
I personally think trading is for everybody. I just think it's something that people should put to in their agenda and their goals to learn. You know, because there's so much to learn, there's so much to do. You have so much going on, and you kind of don't want to, you know, flip flop from, you know, so many different things. You kind of just want to have that focus on that one driven thing. But I think it's for anybody who wants to learn, you know, how to create wealth for yourself, because this is a part of wealth creation. You know, it may not be something for a trader, for individuals that just get in and do every day. They might want somebody to do it for them. But I still think it's something that everybody should at least have an understanding of. Even if I have somebody else trading my money for me, at least I have an understanding of what the market is doing, at least the basics, you know. So I know that if I'm giving him my bread, then they're not just telling me anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I missed the other part that you said.
No, do you feel also that it's kind of all in the same question, you know, who is it for? But just to clarify, you know, is it, again, do people need to have like a certain amount of capital to get started? What might be the best route to start it? Would it be stocks? Would it be?
They say that it depends. It depends on the person's taste. You know what I'm saying? Because I was attracted to stocks first, and then I lost the traction of stocks and went to foreign currency. And you know what I mean? So I think it depends on the person's taste. Once they get in, you could kind of figure it out. You know, dibble a little bit everywhere. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you're going to start out with some capital, foreign currency, you don't really need a whole lot. You know, you could probably get in there with $100 and do something stocks. If you're doing penny stocks, you probably could do the same thing. But if you know, running around, you know, $5, $12 stocks, you might need a few thousand in there. Crypto, you know, a few $100s, not a whole lot. But the point is just to get in and get your feet wet to see, you know, what works best for you. And that'll give traders a better idea if they should trade stocks, should they trade a specific stock, should they trade foreign currencies, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a feel for what you want, because I trade some stocks that I like, but my main focus is foreign currency, you know, so it all depends, man.
Okay, excellent. I appreciate you sharing with us. So how can people, you know, get in contact with Mr. Johnson here? You know, you got a few students. I know eventually we talked about this. You probably want to build something up to help a lot of more people at once. But you know, that's not something your main thing right now, where you're not coming out with no course or nothing like that, or got some kind of online deal.
It's in the mix.
It's in the mix. Okay. Well, we'll be looking out for that. How can people, you know, stay in contact with you? You know, if they want to learn, you know, or just contact you in some way, somehow, if that's even an option. You know, if you're willing to.
They can catch me at Black Wall Street Charm City, Black Wall Street Charm City on Instagram.
Okay. Cool. And share with people exactly what is this, the Black Wall Street. What is the idea behind it? What are you guys doing within the community? What is the purpose for this organization?
Oh man, the purpose of Black Wall Street Charm City is to help the Black entrepreneur or the aspiring entrepreneur on how to be a better businessman, how to be an entrepreneur, and how to create wealth for themselves and their families. And ultimately, how do we work together as a Black community to make a presence in the community, I'd say, and, you know, create that wealth amongst our people that's been lacking for a number of years. Another big thing that Black Wall Street is doing is we're engaged in the community. You know, we're out feeding the needy, feeding the community, giving coats out to the community, hot hat, socks, and gloves out to the community. You know, we're engaged with the community in any way, any means possible, so that we can, you know, be a blessing to the community.
Excellent. Is there any way that for people who might want to contribute to that monetarily, or maybe send some kind of donation, do you guys do that? If so,
absolutely. If you'd like to send a donation to help us in our pursuit to the community, our Cash App is Black Wall Street CC. Again, that's $ Black Wall Street CC.
Okay. And we'll make sure we put that in the description of the video too, so people can refer back to that and get with you guys on that, man. So Hey, Jason, brother, it's been a pleasure, man. Talking with you. I appreciate your time, value your time. Appreciate also what you're doing in terms of spending your time with the community, man, and just trying to uplift people, man, and bring more people together to capitalize on some opportunity and get our shot. You know what I'm saying? So, with that said, I don't know if you had anything last thing you might want to say to the folks who are going to see this. If you do,
Absolutely, I definitely would, man. For anybody that's interested in trading, if you want to trade, you have to have that will to win. You know, life is about continuing to mold our ashless and continue the pursuit of greatness and what God has given us. And you were born to be great. You're watching this video because you're seeking greatness. And in order for you to take yourself, your business, your dreams, your goals to the next levels and inspire the people that are behind you, the ones that are viewing you on Instagram, the ones that are watching you, you have to have that dog. You got to continue to push. You got to continue to pray. If you don't believe in God, I bet you believe in almighty power and pray to that almighty power, which is God, and continue to, you know, push to persevere. 100%.
absolutely, man. Strong words, strong words. I love that word, perseverance. It tests me a lot, so I feel you on that, man. So, hey, I appreciate your time, brother, man. You and your family have a wonderful, wonderful day. Finish out strong, man, and we'll be
See, brother.
soon. We're gonna do another one of these for everybody watching. We're gonna talk to Jason pretty soon again about how we coach up our children in terms of entrepreneurship and how to build that mindset to seek out these opportunities and just to have a strong self-confidence and belief system within ourselves that we too, regardless of your background, your cultural, ethnic background, that despite whatever that may be, the circumstance may be, the possibility for whatever you want exists. And I know Jason is big on teaching his children that. So we'll have Jason back pretty soon here about how to help our kids. So appreciate it, brother. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate you, bro.
We'll talk soon, man.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. Peace.
Later, bro.
All right, guys. So I hope that you have gotten value from this video. You enjoyed the video. And if you want to stay connected with Jason and the whole Black Wall Street Charm City, their organization and the things they're doing, plug in with them. If you have questions, I'm pretty sure they're welcoming questions, and Jason is always looking for a way to help other people out. So you can connect with him on Instagram at Jason Jr. Johnson. Again, that's JASON JRJOHNSON. Jason Jr. Johnson on Instagram, or Black Wall Street Charm City. That's Black Wall Street _Charm City on Instagram as well. With that said, if you have enjoyed this video, you got value, let us know by hitting that thumbs up button, letting us know you like the video. And also, if you have not done so already, make sure you don't forget the red subscribe button and the bell notification next to it so you don't miss when we bring you awesome videos, including interviews like what you have seen here today. With that said, make sure you're following us on all social media platforms at Revenue Pro Tips. And with that said, we will see you soon. Peace.